And welcome back to another episode of The Roundup. I'm Jude Binkley here with my co-host
Aria Damavandi.
And today we will be recapping the divisional round matchups. We got 4 games to talk about today, so let's get right into it. The first game we had on Saturday afternoon was between the Colts and the Kansas City Chiefs. Aria, what did you think about this game?
I thought this was a little bit of a surpriser because the Chiefs have been losing many consecutive home games in the playoffs, which is it's a nice end to their drought that they've had to see Patrick Mahomes rise as an emerging star. He's been nothing but wowing everybody this entire season, so it's been great to see them defeat the Colts, and they beat them 31-13. So,
yes, like you mentioned, that drought. This was the Chiefs' first home win at Arrowhead for a playoff game in 25 years. Actually, when we were in that third quarter, I was getting some flashbacks between the game between the Colts and the Chiefs back in 2014, where they had that huge comeback. But really, I think Patrick Mahomes, he looked like an MVP. And we had some great plays from this game. So let's get into our first highlight. Aria, you want to walk it through?
All right, so we're going to go over to the monitor. We're going to show Tyreek Hill's 36-yard touchdown run. So here they're lining up in pretty much a bunch formation right here. They have all of their receivers right here ready to block, and you have the running back in the backfield. You're going to see these two, Tyreek Hill and Sammy Watkins, motion over. So he has a gaping route to get to the end zone for a 36-yard touchdown run. So you can see the run by Tyreek Hill right here. He gets the launch, he has blockers in front, and he just finds a gaping way all the way to the end zone. That makes this game 14-0 in the beginning of the game.
Going to our second highlight from this game, we had an interesting Colts blocked punt, which was recovered by Zach Pascal for a touchdown. Put the Colts on the board. Besides that, didn't get a whole lot going.
Patrick Mahomes diving for the end zone, making it a 24-7 ball game before the half, which puts the Colts in a pretty big deficit.
All right, if we want to pause our clips for now.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Moving on to our second game, our Saturday evening game. We had the Cowboys at the Rams. Now, Aria, you were actually at this game. Tell us about it. Tell us how it felt to be there.
It was a Cowboys home game over there. I am telling you, these fans showed up. There was like 50-50 crowd there, but the Rams kind of shut the crowd up in like about the second quarter, which put the Cowboys fans in a much quieter mood than they were in the beginning. So this is a play of Todd Gurley's 35 touchdown run right here. You're gonna see all of the blockers right here to make this game 20-7 before the half. So you could play the clip right now. You can see how he has all of his blockers right here, and then from there he just finds a way all the way to the end zone.
Huge part of this game was the run. The Rams had 273 yards between C.J. Anderson and Todd Gurley. Anderson really stepping up. Todd Gurley has been hurt these past few weeks. Didn't really know his status going into the game, but he really showed himself and hasn't been talked about as much. But then also looking at the run side for the Cowboys, the Rams defense and their defensive line really showed up, holding Ezekiel Elliott to 47 yards and 20 carries.
Yeah. I thought everybody was expecting the Rams defense to put a lot more holes for Zeke, but they showed up. They didn't allow him over 50 yards, and their whole offense basically was all through the air. They didn't have much of a ground game going on. So we can talk about Dak Prescott's 44-yard pass to Michael Gallup right here. Dak Prescott's going to get out of this under pressure. He's going to have Michael Gallup deep, which gets him down to the 2-yard line, which sets up a touchdown to make it 15-23 with the 2-point conversion. So,
and our last highlight from this game, just really showing how dominant the Rams' defensive line was. Here was an important 4th and 1 in the fourth quarter, and they stuff Ezekiel Elliott, really showing how the whole game had been for him. Really, didn't have a whole lot of success. It was his third game in his career with under 50 yards running. Let's go ahead and play that clip.
To fight for the extra yards, but the Rams defense just had no holes, which ended that.
And that really, I think it was worth it, giving Aaron Donald the money and bringing on Ndamukong Suh, that defensive line that the Rams really built up in the offseason. And having to deal out some heavy money, it has been rewarding for them.
Yeah, it came to show in a game which matters, in a do-or-die playoff game with all of the line at stake right here. So I thought that was a huge game for the Rams defense to build some momentum going into next week.
All right, so let's move on to our games from Sunday. The first one was between the Los Angeles Chargers and the New England Patriots. I was kind of surprised by this game, but also not super surprised. It's a little bit of the same old, same old. When I thought the New England's dynasty was going to be on a downward spiral, they came out and won this game 28-41 and really showed a lot of naysayers. Thoughts?
I picked this game to be a shootout, which kind of was, but kind of a blowout. I thought it would be a little bit more competitive, but clearly the Pats show why they are one of the best teams in the NFL right now. They had a pretty good ground game too, the Patriots, with Sony Michel, and I thought that they surprised a lot of the Chargers defense on the ground. So we can show the first play by the Chargers. Phillip Rivers gets Keenan Allen for a 43-yard touchdown right here. If you could start the play from the beginning. See him lofting a deep, wide open. The whole secondary had a mismatch there, which allowed Keenan Allen to get loose for a big gain in the beginning of the game.
All right, so now this next clip is from Patriots rookie Sony Michel. He put up 129 yards this game with 3 touchdowns. Here's a 14-yard run to the house for a Patriots touchdown in their dominant first half where they went up 35-7.
You could see a fullback and running back formation right here. You're going to get Sony Michel going a little bit on the outside to beat the end. So you could play the clip right now. You can see him find the edge against the defenders. He's going to reach, and he gets the pylon, which makes it a 14-7 ball game.
And our last play from this game is a fumbled punt return by Desmond King, which leads to a short field for the Patriots and later on a touchdown.
Ball rolls over, and they get it right before it went out of bounds. So that was the Patriots versus the Chargers. Patriots move on to the AFC Championship game.
And our final game from the divisional round happened between the Philadelphia Eagles and the New Orleans Saints. Final score of this game was Eagles 14, Saints 20. What were your thoughts about this, Aria?
Okay, so in the beginning, we all saw the Eagles come out strong. They put it to the 14-0 deficit, and the Saints really were not expecting this type of halftime to be down 2 scores. So they kind of rallied back, and then they went up, and then they built some momentum, keep going, and kept on going, and then they got 20-14 in the end, which is, I find it great for the Saints and awful for the Eagles to just lose like that when they were leading for most of the game.
Yeah, so this game really surprised me. We saw the Eagles go up 14-0 early, and I thought we were going to see some more Nick Foles magic. As a Rams fan, who the Rams were going to play the winner of this matchup, I was a little bit concerned. They have lost to both of these teams, but the way the Eagles came out, it looked like they were unstoppable, and they just kind of slowed down and really died out. It was their game to lose, and they lost it. But from that hot start that the Eagles had, we do have our first clip, which is a Nick Foles to Jordan Matthews 37-yard touchdown pass.
Yeah. So you could see Jordan Matthews is going to fake block, and he's going to get out to the edge. So you could play it right here. You're going to see him get out. Nick Foles under pressure. He lofts it beautifully to Jordan Matthews, making this the first score of the game, 7-0 Eagles.
And that might have looked good for the Eagles, but after that and one more touchdown, their luck really stopped there. We do have a nice Melvin Ingram 37-yard run, which would end up setting up a Saints field goal as part of their rally, which is our next clip.
You can see Mark Ingram right here going down right here. You can see them with 3 linebackers right here and a 4-man push right here. You're going to see the fullback right here. Going to get out to get one blocker, which leads it, an open lane right there. And then he has phenomenal strength, just breaks free, and it's just him from there on out. So that was that.
And finally, what I really think symbolized this game was what clinched it for the Saints, a pass going through Alshon Jeffrey's hands and being intercepted by Marshawn Lattimore. As Alshon Jeffrey, you saw him after the play. He was laying down on the field for what was probably a minute or two, knowing he lost that game for his team.
It's like you just don't want to see it for him because he's such a good receiver. To see something like this happen when it all counts, it's just gonna make him really, really devastated. And he, at the end of the game, said this loss was all on him, which I don't think it was all on him. For him to be in that situation is just like it's just like no one's expecting it like that. So
And
we can play
especially
the-
especially after a great season he had, winning,
yeah.
being a main part in that Eagles Super Bowl run.
Through his hands, Marshawn Lattimore picks it up behind him, and that is what clinches the game for the Saints. Saints play the Rams in New Orleans next week.
Yeah, so, with that said, that will conclude our divisional round recap. We'll have a video coming out later this week with a preview of our championship rounds. Those games will be the Rams at the Saints and the Patriots at the Chiefs.
Yeah. So we'll see you with a preview of the championship game. We're out.